Welcome to the Femalepreneur Coach podcast. I am your host, Rebecca Barr. I am a transformational mindset and business coach and six-figure award-winning female entrepreneur. Ladies, I'm here to tell you that business and making money doesn't have to be hard when you're in alignment and flow. Inside this podcast, I will be showing you how to transform your mindset to program it for success, how to maximize your money vibrations, and how to redesign your business for ultimate financial and time freedom. You know you are meant to live an epic life. Now it's time to claim it. Hi ladies, how are you? Welcome to another episode of the Femalepreneur Coach podcast. I am your host, Rebecca Barr. Super excited to speak with you today. And today I felt really called actually to speak about, in particular, because we all know I love a spiritual download, and that seems to determine the kind of topics that I cover in my podcast. And today I felt really called to speak about the age-old struggle that women, and I obviously suffer from this as well, but women particularly suffer with when it comes to time. So we all have this relationship that always feels like we're in conflict, like we never have enough time. And it's quite typical when I first start working with a new client, the first thing that they will tell me whenever it comes to why they haven't done the thing that they wanted to do, or why they haven't hit the goal that they want to achieve as yet, it always comes down to that perception that they don't have enough time. And that is what is keeping them stuck. So what I want to speak to you about today is about how we flip the script on that narrative and how we make the most of the time that we do have, because it's so powerful when we realize that we all have the same 24 hours. It really starts to open our minds up to what is possible as to what we can do with that time. So for me, something that is one of my favorite times of the day is actually the school run in the morning. So apologies if you don't have children, or you're not quite at that stage of life just yet. But for me, I obviously do. And it's about finding the pockets of time that you know you're going to be consistent with. It's almost like it's something that you don't even have to think about. So for me, the school run is a really powerful time because I'm a firm believer of the compound effect. So anybody that's read Darren Hardy's book, The Compound Effect, will know about the power of every day, the little actions that you can take and how they can build up and compound over a year to really quantum leap your success. So it might be when you're in the moment every day and you're doing all the things, you feel like you're not getting anywhere. And particularly, that's been my journey over the years. I'm in year 7 now, I think, as a business owner. I've had a lot of those times where I feel like, oh, I'm just repeating the same day every day. I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not moving forwards. Things aren't happening. But actually, when you take a moment to reflect and look back on how far you've come, you're like, oh, actually, yeah. Do you know what? Actually, I am much further than I thought. And it all comes down to those little tiny things that you're doing every day. And Darren Hardy really powerfully explains this. So I'd definitely encourage you to read his book because I absolutely love it. And he says about how, when you're at those crossroads and you just feel like, oh, nothing's moving forward, nothing's changing. If you consider that if for 1 year you did something really positive versus something really negative. So if you're trying to lose weight, for example, and you want, in every day for a year, you took 10 extra steps or you did 1 extra minute walking a day versus eating 1 bag of crisps a day, like over the years, when you consider that, you could have either eaten 365 packets of crisps, or you could have instead done 365 extra minutes of exercise. The chances are, if you've taken the positive steps as opposed to the negative, then you're going to be drastically different from where you would have been if you'd taken the negative. And when you look at how quickly that gap can start to widen between where you want to be and how you get there, it's really powerful. So for me, one of the ways in which I know that I can be consistent and I've got consistent pockets of time, it's the school run. So for me, that's magical time. That is such a powerful tool. Like for a lot of us, we walk through life thinking about these things as a chore, and we're really not present in those moments, whether it's your drive to work, or your commute on the train, or something that you know you're going to be doing every single day, rather than just passively sitting back and letting that time pass you by and not mean anything, not move you closer to your goals or stand for anything. It's just dead time that is essentially being wasted. How about instead you use that time instead, like, to really make the most of life and to really put you in the best possible place for success? So there's three ways that I can think that you can use that time instead to really make 2022 the game change for you. So the first thing for me, and you really have to be mindful of, what is the amount of time, what is that pocket of time for me? I mean, we can all say things like going to the toilet. I know men are quite good at really maximizing that time on the toilet and they'll be there for ages. But what are they doing with it? Well, they're using it to scroll through social media and spend time on their phone inevitably. Like, that's my experience, massively generalizing, obviously, but I'm pretty sure, ladies, if you've ever been in a long-term relationship, you will agree with me on this. But instead, if you think about, if they had a network marketing business and they were using that time instead to reach out to potential clients, or do social media posts or something else, the compound effect of that over 365 days would be quite significant in helping them to achieve their goals. But that's kind of neither here nor there. But so for you, what is it? Is it when the baby's napping? Is it your drive to work, your commute to work? Is it when you're washing the dishes or something along those? So first of all, I'd love to invite you to really identify, what is that time that whatever happens every day, it's my non-negotiable and it's going to happen, whether it's walking the dog or something along those lines. For me, it is the school run, because it's probably, I don't know, about 20 minutes each way. And obviously I can't not do it. So other than at half term, I'm going to be on that school run pretty much 5 days a week in, week out, for quite some time, as I have 5 children. So, that pocket of time is not going anywhere right now. So that's what I've identified for me is like my power time. It's my bonus time. It's the time where I can really focus on myself. Obviously, on the way to the school, there's not much I can do, because the kids are asking me questions, but also that's our time together to really, like, no phones, no distractions. It's just us. We're just walking to school. Like, I really like having those conversations. Luciano particularly, he's my 3-year-old. He always like wants to stop to look at every flower, every bush, every pet, every squirrel, everything. Like, my oldest son wants to look at every car, every Tesla, like da da da. So we always have lots to talk about on those school runs. But on the way back, when it's just me and the baby, 9 times out of 10 she'll be asleep. So I can pop my headphones in, and I really use this time. And that's all you need, ladies. It's just 10 to 15 minutes a day. I'm a great fan of the morning routine. And obviously, I've done other episodes about how to really instill a great morning routine to set you up for success for the day. So if you haven't listened to those episodes, then make sure you go back, because it is powerful to start your day in the right way. However, it's a little bit hit and miss. I have to be honest. It's not something that I can be super consistent about, because it really depends on the baby and what time she gets up right now. So obviously, as she gets older and she settles into more of a routine, then absolutely I'll be looking to really start implementing that time for me. But at the moment, for where I am right now at life, I could get up at 6 and commit to a morning routine, but chances are 5 minutes in, I'm going to be joined by at least one, if not two, little helpers. So it's a bit pointless. But the school run on the way back, 9 times out of 10, it's just me and it's all within my control. So again, why it's so powerful, that time, is because it's within my control, and control for me is a driver. It's one of my core driving factors in life. It's what motivates me. It's what keeps me going. It's whenever I feel like I've got an element of control over something and it's all down to me, then I will go all in, because it's only me that I need to rely on. So obviously that might be different for you, but for me, the school run, 9 times out of 10, like I say, that will be me. It will be completely uninterrupted time, and it really allows me to set myself up for success. So once you've identified whatever that consistent amount of time is, if you had goals this year around maybe drinking more water, or practicing affirmations, or doing something that again requires consistency, what you can do, rather than relying on willpower alone is actually attach it to something that is already a habit, and that will make you 9 times more likely to be successful in whatever that new habit is that you're trying to introduce. So if it is drinking more water, or I want to you know, practice my affirmations, or I want to, trying to think something you could do while you're walking. Listen to podcasts and really commit to my personal development this year. Attach it to something that is already happening, like clockwork. So again, this is quite good if one of your goals was to be more active, because you are physically walking. So if it's to get your steps in every day, I want to hit 10,000 steps every day. Well, the school run is obviously perfect for that, because you're already doing that as a habit. And then you can attach your habit alongside it. So if it's like brushing your teeth in the morning, you're not going to leave the house and not brush your teeth. So if that could be your time to work on your affirmations, or something else that requires you to be consistent, to really embed it. And we know that typically it takes 21 days to create a new habit. The brain loves repetition, and anything that it can do and put on autopilot that doesn't require you to consciously think about it, it will embrace it after that time. So once it's like, oh, okay, we actually want to do this and we want to do it every day, once you get to a certain number of days, it will automatically start putting that on autopilot, and it will actually become weird when you're not doing it. So this is why it's always really great whenever you're consistent with a new goal, then your brain will start to really get behind that goal, and it will start helping you out, making it less harder after a period of time where you've been consistent. So you know what it's like when you started on a bit of a health kick, you've started going to the gym every day, and then things start creeping in to take you off course. You start to feel a bit guilty, a bit weird about not going. Your body starts to miss that workout, and that's because it's become a habit. So the school run, like I say, is a really great time to start instilling those habits, because you're basically lessening the need to rely solely on your willpower and remembering to do it. So I'd obviously, that's just one of the ways in which you can really harness that time. The next one is around limiting beliefs, or any beliefs that aren't currently serving you. So the brain learns through the power of repetition. Like I've said, at any point, it will be constantly looking for ways to conserve energy. And the more that you can, so it really embraces anything that's done in a repetitive manner over time. That's how we learn. So that's why when children are learning their spellings, the more that they can hear it and see it and write it, the more it will really embed that learning. And it's the same for you as adults. So if you want to start reprogramming some of the beliefs that are holding you back, you will only learn through repetition. It's never a one and done approach when it comes to mindset. We've got tiny neural network pathways in our brains that essentially are fired when we go to do a certain action. If it will initiate a response. If up until now, so I'm nearly 40 I'm going to be 40 this year. So for me, if it's taken me 40 years to get to a certain point in life, to think a certain thing, to act in a certain way, to do a certain thing, there'll be clear pathways created that will say, when this happens, this is my automatic response to that. This is how I'm going to think, feel, act, all of those things. And that will be like, if you can imagine driving a tractor through a field, it's only been doing that one thing for the last 40 years. This thing happens and this is the response. And I'm literally every day, or every time it happens, going up and down, up and down, up and down, A to B, A to B, A to B. So and obviously, if you can imagine like corn maze, where the tractors like just driving up and down the same things, like clear channels, clear grooves will have been formed, and it will just be, that just is how it is. So for you, it could be, if you had a limiting belief around money, whenever I jump on a sales call, I automatically feel bad. I hate to talk about money. I feel guilty. Or whenever you hit a certain level of income, you will start to self-sabotage, because you're not used to going over that threshold. Your body is only like able to physically receive a certain amount of money before you start to feel weird, before you start to feel greedy, guilty, shameful, embarrassed, awkward, all of those things. So what we want to do is start introducing new neural network pathways, so new like automatic responses whenever something happens. So if you want to go live on Instagram, your automatic response is, oh, not good enough, I hate it, people don't want to hear what I've got to say, all of these things, all of these beliefs come up. We want to start changing those for something that's more empowering. So actually, people love to hear what I've got to say. I have so much value to share with the world. I am absolutely the right person to be speaking about this thing at this moment. I don't need to be XYZ, more qualified, more experienced, more anything. I am exactly where I need to be at exactly the right time for me right now. So we want to start creating those new responses, essentially, those new thought patterns, those new more empowering beliefs, and that comes from repetition. So if you're going on the school run every single day, or not every single day, but 5 days out of 7, and you can use that time to really fill yourself up with empowering thoughts, you will notice the shift. Absolutely, over time, you will absolutely notice that your default mode to I'm so rubbish, I'm so I'm so this, I'm so that, will suddenly not feel so default anymore, because instead you're thinking, you've trained your brain to start thinking in a different way, and to start automatically looking for the good in every situation, to automatically adopting a what is possible, what if mindset, as opposed to, oh, nothing goes right. And that's what I do. So for me, this time in the school run is really, really important, because you start your day. If you don't have a really solid morning routine, the kids can take you off on a tangent. You're at the mercy of everybody else. So it's at the mercy of like what you're seeing on the news, on social media, your kids, your partner, your dog, like everything that's going on around you will be affecting you energetically if you don't have a really great morning routine. So then, do you really want to start your day from that place? If you don't already start like just rebalancing that energy, refocusing your mindset, and getting yourself into a more empowered state before you start your day properly the time that is meant for you and your goals, i.e. like when you come back and start working, then what do you think is going to be the outcome of that? You're not going to be coming back and feeling like Beyonce and taking the inspired action and doing all of the things. You're going to be coming back and feeling harassed and stressed and overwhelmed and frazzled and exhausted, and all of those things that are going to keep you from what it is that you actually want and doing the things that you say you're going to. And instead, it's going to keep you stuck, it's going to keep you overwhelmed, it's going to stop you from taking the inspired action and doing the things that you should do. So for me, for that time, is all about getting myself in the most empowered state. So I listen to podcasts, I listen to audiobooks, I focus on my breathing, I'm present with myself. If I've got something that I need to mull over, I might mentally rehearse it, I might like be contemplating like the options. I really use that time constructively, because let's be honest, when I get back, if the baby wakes up, she's teething at the moment, chances are I'm not really going to get that time to sit and think and journal. And I think at any point in life we can use these things as excuses, like, oh, the baby's young, I can't possibly have a business. Well, the reality is I can do both. It's just being about smarter with my time, and really how I maintain my energy for my clients, and how I operate at a CEO level, and how I keep that CEO mindset, so I don't drag myself down and get too bogged down in the day to day and the little things. So obviously for me, that's what I'm doing on the school run. And then the final thing is about manifesting your goals. So another thing I love to do, and it makes me so happy, is to visualize the successful outcome of my goals. And so the third thing that I would say is, in these pockets of time, it is harnessing the power of visualization. Again, I've got a really great blog post on my website about this. particularly because visualization has really helped me to manifest the things that I've wanted to call into my life before. So, from an awards win to certain people to a house to a baby, Aviana, I will hand on heart, on my soul, know that she is here because I manifested her. She wasn't supposed to be here. The chance of her being conceived was so unlikely and so remote at the time. Um, that I know that she's meant, I mean, obviously, she's like an old soul. I absolutely believe that she's a reincarnated soul and that she was meant to be here. So, but I manifested her through the power of visualizations. That meant every time when I was on the school run with the kids, I would be imagining myself the successful outcome of a goal. So I would be visualizing myself every day, walking a brand new baby to school I already visualized like the pushchair. I knew it was going to be a girl. Like I imagined the outfit, what I was wearing, and to that level of detail. Because when you can really act as if it's already happened, you can see it, you are so close, you could touch it, you can feel all of the feelings. We manifest through emotions and through believing that it's possible and it's inevitable. So the more comfortable you can get with what that future looks like and the successful outcome of that goal, not only do you lessen the resistance around your subconscious brain so that you are less likely to self-sabotage your attempts at actually taking the inspired action to achieve it, but you can also energetically, magnetically bring it to you much closer because you're not repelling it in any way. So yeah, I think the clearer you, and also once you have clarity around what it is that you want, what is that goal, what does that mean, but also attach the emotion to it as well. How is it going to feel, what can you hear, how are you going to show up, like what is this going to do for your mindset, like what would you be thinking, what would you be wearing, what would you be doing. It's so much easier to then, without even realizing, step into that future version of yourself. And again, I'm going to do a whole podcast episode around this, but just broadly speaking, those are the three things where you can really harness the power of this sacred time. And for a lot of people, the school run is not going to feel that sacred. It feels like a chore. It feels like something that you have to do. But if you can reframe it in a way that you're like, actually, oh my God, this is my time where I'm absolutely going to change my life right now, rather than thinking it as another thing on your to-do list, this consistent time is going to be the game changer for you this year. You can embed new habits, you can reprogram beliefs that don't serve you, and you can visualize the successful outcome of your goals, which will help you to manifest them much quicker. How much more empowering does that feel when you're getting, when the kids are being a pain, when you're running around the house trying to find school shoes and trainers and homework and all of these things, to think, oh my God, actually, when I'm on the way, or at least on my way back, this is my time that is going to absolutely change my life. How much better does that feel? And if you're turning up with that energy and believing that anything is possible and starting your day with that mindset that you are in control of everything that's happening right now, so therefore equally you can be in charge and empowered to completely change it over time, then, and you're showing up with that level of self-belief and control and confidence, how much quicker do you think you're going to get there? So I'd love to leave it there today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I've really got you thinking as to how much personal power that you can activate just through a simple act of going on the school run every day, or taking your morning drive to work, or walking the dog, and using that time with purpose and on purpose, how you can literally transform your life. So I hope that you loved this episode. Tonight or today, I'm getting ready because I'm about to start my 10 weeks to 10K group coaching. So I'm super excited, again, using this time today to be really purposeful, to stay in the creative flow so that I can be of service to the women that are joining me this evening. But if I have brought up anything that resonates with you right now and you'd like to do more work on this, I'd love to signpost you as to how you can work on it more. So you can either read my blog, you can listen to my other episodes on my podcast, that's all free. You can join me inside the Fempreneur Society, which is a business and mindset academy that is a monthly membership. We've got loads of great work. We do this, dive deep into this work through monthly coaching, goal setting, as well as business building content in there as well. But also my Millionaire Mindset Bootcamp is now available as a self-study. So if you're like, actually, do you know what? Yeah, I really need to get to the bottom of a lot of these things, my limiting beliefs around money, what it is that's stopping me from blocking the flow of abundance right now, I would love to encourage you. It's such a beautiful discovery journey that every woman should go on at some point in their lives. Like, you need to be financially empowered as a woman, so that you can also then pass those learnings on through to your children and the next generation and the clients that you serve and your family, your community. I truly believe change starts with us. So I'll pop all of those details in the show notes, and I hope you have an incredible day. If you've loved this episode, then please do leave me a review. It really helps to get visible online and help other women. Thank you for listening to this episode. It's been amazing to share this time with you, and I feel honoured to be part of your journey. If you've loved what you've heard, had an aha moment, or found value in this episode, then please do like, comment and share. I would love to connect with you on Instagram and Facebook, so come and find me, and I look forward to helping you build your epic life.